To posture therapy. I am your postural therapist, Candace Grant, and today we are going to go over proper sitting and chair exercises. So grab your chair. So just a quick reminder on how to sit properly. You want your feet going forward, your knees, your hips, and your shoulders all in this stacked joint postural alignment position. You want to roll up onto your sits bones, allowing everything else to come up into proper positioning. This is the way that we sit proper. And just remember that when you're driving, instead of having your foot to the side, you want it to be in that forward position as well, so that you create that proper alignment of your body at all times, rather than that drop down and now your hip is going out of alignment. Great. So we're going to do a couple exercises all from sitting on your chair, because there is no need when you are working at a desk that you have the excuse of I sit all day. So therefore, a couple exercises we're going to go over is first, in this proper sitting position, knee pillow squeezes. So you place a block in between your knees, depending on where your hips are. So if your hips are short and you're a smaller person, you put it this way. If your hips are a little bit wider, they go wider. I have a cork block. This is a foam block. It is a little bit bigger than mine. So by probably about an inch to an inch and a half bigger, and that's okay. So whatever one works for you, that is the one that you will use. Okay, so placing your block in between your knees, and you can absolutely use a pillow as well, but my preference is to use a block because you have a lot more ability to squeeze, and it just seems to be that perfect position for your hips. So feet on the ground, palms up, so we shift our shoulders back into a proper alignment position, and we squeeze the block. So squeezing it 10 times for 3 sets. And you will feel your glutes working, your hips working, your abductors and your adductor muscles. And you're just going to squeeze. This one is really focused though on these adductor muscles right here along the inside of your thighs, because it's adducting those hips together and your legs together. Very, very important, especially for people that have hip issues. This one and the next one are extremely important if you have hip issues. Okay, so as I said, you want to squeeze, working those muscles 10 times, pause, do it again another 10 times, and then we are done. Okay, the next exercise we're going to do, you need a belt or a strap for. You can use a yoga strap is what I have. You can use a belt. You can use a housecoat robe. You don't have to go and buy all the materials. It's entirely up to you and what your choice that you're comfortable using is. So when you use the strap, you just don't want to use those flimsy kind of tensor therapy bands, because they just don't, they have too much flex in them, and you don't want that. You want to be able to push against it without your knees going woo. Okay, so how you start is you can put the block here to make sure that your knees are in the proper positioning. Once they are, then you pull the block out and you are pushing against the strap. So once again, you are doing 10 sets, or sorry, 3 sets of 10. Now, if you find that your feet are out, then get your block, put it between your feet, and hold, making sure that your feet are in a proper alignment position, and just push out. Okay? So once again, you are doing 3 sets of 10. And you can work up to more, but that's our starting point. So it's all on what you are comfortable doing. And this is working those adduction muscles, taking them away from your center line. Okay. Get rid of this and block. Now we are going to do a bit of a twist stretch where we want to take our one arm and twist it back. So in this case, I am using my left hand and I'm just going to twist with my body and bring that back to that side, keeping my knees alignment position. Now I can either place my hand here if I feel like my body is over twisting, and you want your head to do the same. You may feel some rib muscle activation going into cramps because your body's not used to doing that. Or you could add your block to maintain this proper positioning and then go the opposite way. And you're just pushing that arm back and looking with it to see how far you can go in that twisting motion. Okay, so I want you to do that 3 times each side, and you're going to hold for approximately 20 to 30 seconds each direction, keeping your body in that upright position. And just follow through. And each time things will relax as it tells your body that it needs to go into a new position and just relax. Another thing you can do, and I'm just going to keep my block here so that it shows you that I'm staying into this proper alignment position. As well, remember to roll up onto your sits bones. So I put my knuckles together, have my thumbs pointed towards me, bring them up to that shoulder height, and we are just going to twist one way. So bringing your hands as close as possible to your shoulders without leaning back or over twisting. So just take it as far as you can and hold, and then come back to center and go the opposite way and hold and back to center. And I want you to do that 5 times, going each way. And each time you will feel that you're going a little bit further or a little bit easier. It's so important to keep doing this as it starts to relax your body, your back, and create more motion in your back. So if you're feeling spasmy, it's, as I said, because your muscles are too tight and they're not used to doing uh, this exercise. So now we're going to go on to what's called a hip lift. So you're just going to roll up to your toes on the one side that you're not lifting and the side that you're lifting. So feel your hip flexors up here where my fingers are. And you're going to just gently lift, probably only a couple inches off the floor. And you're just going to lift 10 times. Okay. And then you're going to shift, go up onto the opposite foot with your toes and lift the other one. The reason you are going up onto your toes is because it helps to mimic the walking position. So, and 10 times. Good. Now back to the first leg. And as I said before, if your hip joints start to hurt or your hip flexor muscles, it just means that they're tight and they're not used to doing those activating work and lift. And also be careful that you're not rolling back on your pelvis. Try to maintain that upright position through the whole thing. Okay, so you can do that 3 sets of 10, 10 each side. Piriformis stretch which is great for your hip joints. It's great for the mobility of your hip flexors as well as your piriformis. So crossing the one leg over, and feel when we do this exercise, if it's easier to cross one leg over the other, that will show you maybe what's going on with some muscles, as well as your actual hip joint, your piriformis, your glutes. So the opposite foot is straight on the ground, holding, leaning forward, keeping your head up, and feeling that piriformis, which is within those glute muscles, stretch. And you can feel your hip joint as well, stretch as well. And just hold it for 30 seconds to a minute, whatever you're comfortable with, and come up. And do it again to equal 3 times. And it just relaxes. The reason that we do it 3 times or more is so, as I said, it shows your muscles to go into a new length so it can release a little bit. So as you can tell, this hip doesn't go down as much as my other one. So as you can see, my knee becomes straighter. On this one, my knee becomes up higher. So we just kind of give it a little push and lean forward, and you can feel everything that's stretching and working. And one more time. And we are going to do now what we call sit stands. So you just want to go up into a standing position and back down. Try not to hold on to anything, but it's really actually working your core muscles, your quadricep muscles, your push off, and your floor. A really great way to do this is to go to a furniture store and try out all their furniture to see which ones are easier to get up and down from. That's what I did, and it was great. So the last thing is, from that seating position, when you want to kind of have a good thing is one, bring your arms back, stretch them out. This is great to do if you're in the middle of your workday and you just need a stretch, and then bring them together, clasp your hands, and look up and hold that position, and then bring them down, and you did great. Have a good day. I'm Candace.